on board the MV Hondias, and what's happening right now is very real for all of us here.
Passengers trapped aboard a cruise ship off the coast of West Africa faced growing fear and uncertainty Monday, as medics worked to evacuate people showing symptoms of the deadly hantavirus after a suspected outbreak that has killed 3 people. Jake Rossmarin, a U.S. travel blogger, is among 150 people stuck aboard the MV Hondias.
There's a lot of uncertainty, and that's the hardest part. All we want right now is to feel safe, to have clarity, and to get home.
Hantavirus, a disease typically carried by rodents, does not transfer easily between humans. The World Health Organization said the risk to the wider public was low. Still, authorities in the island nation of Cape Verde said they were not allowing the Dutch-flagged ship to dock as a public health precaution. The ship's operator, Oceanwide Expeditions, said it was, quote, managing a serious medical situation and looking into whether passengers could be screened and disembarked on the islands of Las Palmas and Tenerife. Authorities said the deceased included a Dutch couple and a German national. Others fell ill, including a British citizen who left the vessel earlier and was being treated in South Africa. The Hondias left southern Argentina in March, according to company documentation, traveling past mainland Antarctica, the Falklands, South Georgia, Nightingale Island, Tristan, St. Helena, and Ascension, before reaching Cape Verdean waters on May 3rd. Hantavirus, which can cause fatal respiratory illness, is spread when droppings and urine of rodents become airborne. There are no specific drugs to treat hantavirus, so treatment focuses on supportive care, including putting patients on ventilators in severe cases. Hantavirus usually begins with flu-like symptoms, such as fatigue and fever, 1 to 8 weeks after exposure.
So as you can see, they're pretty much quarantining these people, leaving them at sea right now. And, you know, they say it's not easily spread among people, but I'm sure if you're on a ship in a tight confined area, you're liable to be able to get this virus. But, you know, there's a lot of interconverging stories going on in the media. The patterns are showing. And it has been a lot of things that just transpired in the last 2 days. For those who don't know, Iran just struck Israel with 650 missiles right there in Tel Aviv. And, you know, I believe they also targeted some U.S. warship, but there's no proof that they actually hit it. And it seems that America's seen it coming. And then you got this hantavirus, which, you know, they've been chopping at the bit to push another, you know, pandemic type of situation. But I see a lot of different things going on, a lot of macro level orchestrating is going on. A lot of things that we're seeing is just straight up staged, y'all. There's a lot of choreographed events taking place. You know, I am convinced at this point, I'm just going to keep it 1,000 with y'all. I'm convinced at this point that the war is somehow staged to a degree, and that it's all about a global reset. And I see a lot of stories going out that people are, you know, kind of strumming up their own narratives or spreading false news. There's a lot of false news out there right now, too. But the things that we should really be paying attention to right now is the fact that ICE is expanding the way they are. That's very important that we pay attention to that. But there's a lot going on in the media. And, you know, we're going to cover a little bit of everything. Y'all know how we do it. We're going to break down the truth. So as you enter the broadcast, make sure you get the likes up. You know, we bringing nothing but the truth. Let's go.
They working against us. They hate our souls. They hate us. They hate our righteous indignation. They hate the exhortation that dwells in us. They hate our love for the Creator. They hate our conviction. They hate the fact that we repentant. They hate the fact that we truthful, honest, and bold. They hate our courage. Them devils hate us. We're not finna line ourselves up with these weirdos and freaks. With these weirdos and freaks. They working against us. They hate our souls. Weirdos and freaks. But these weirdos and freaks, they working against us. They hate our souls. Nubreed.
Ephesians 6:10. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord, and in the power of his might put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all, to stand. Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked, and take the helmet of salvation, and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God. Praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints.
All right. Welcome back, brothers and sisters. And before I get into the broadcast, I want to, correct myself. Earlier, I said that Iran struck Israel with 650 ballistic missiles, which they did. That just happened earlier this year. So I didn't mean to actually quote that at the moment. I meant they did that earlier this year, and they'll be willing to do it again, right? Because the fact that people are acting like they won't attack, and they've already showed that they're willing to do that. All right. So let me correct myself on that. But welcome back, y'all. Welcome back. It's good to see y'all. See y'all rolling in the chat. Eternal Vision. Mr. Wild Seed is in the building. Underground Wall Street. Tania. Wanda Austin. What's happening with everybody? Y'all, I have been in a lab cooking up some music, working on my craft, working on my skill. So I've been a little bit out of the loop, but I did catch what's going on right now. And it's a lot to talk about. And we're going to talk about the things a lot of people fail to actually cover. And I'm going to say this too, just so the record is straight. There's a huge meme campaign that people are running, and they're just going off the rails with it. Like, the whole Donald Trump Uno card thing, Donald Trump actually never posted himself holding Uno cards. So I see a lot of stories out there and that people cover, but they're not really fact checking to see if it's substantial news. Donald Trump did not post that. And people are posting things saying Trump posted it, and then they'll post things and saying that Iran posted a response. And, you know, a lot of people are fueling a lot of misinformation. So when you come over here to Nubreed Global Truth, just know that you're going to get the full-blown truth of what's actually going on, right? Not, you know, a bunch of hearsay and memes and rumors, all right? For the record, we don't do that. We try to stay as legitimate as possible. All right. Now, with all of that being said, y'all, we got to get into it. In case you don't know, some of y'all may not know, but America just slipped into number 67 when it comes to the free press list. And that means, you know, freedom of speech is really dwindling in this country a lot. So I just thought that was something to mention there, but you know, we can see that America as a whole is really backsliding in multiple ways. But we're going to chop it up today, y'all. We're going to chop it up. Of course, we weigh everything through the parameters of the Bible. All right. But let's just talk about some of the things going on right now in the news.
This morning, a suspected hantavirus outbreak on a cruise ship has left 3 people dead and another person in intensive care. According to Ocean-Wide Expeditions, the Netherlands-based operator of the ship, 2 additional individuals on board require urgent medical care.
Hantavirus is a virus transmitted mainly from rodents to humans.
It's the same rare disease that is blamed on the death of Betsy Arakawa, the wife of late actor Gene Hackman, last year. Dr. Kavita Patel says symptoms can take days to appear.
It first manifests with like a cough or shortness of breath or something that's pulmonary, sometimes a fast heart rate, often with a fever. And as the virus kind of gets attack of the body, you can see other symptoms, including sepsis.
The World Health Organization says that while rare, hantavirus may spread between people.
Hold on. Golden Sea, you said there's an echo? Okay, shouldn't be doing that. So there's an echo. Okay. All right, so let me get this fixed real quick, y'all. No worries. Probably because I was using this computer to record music. I don't know. You change one thing and it started tweaking out. Let's see if it echoes now, y'all. Let me know if it's echoing out. Matter of fact, let me
Ship is currently docked in the Atlantic Ocean off the coast of West Africa.
Did it still echo, y'all? Let me make sure my garage band is closed because that could be causing the echo.
Africa. And the operating company says passengers, including the 2 still on board believed to have the virus, have not been allowed to get off the boat. Adding in a statement, disembarkation and medical screening of all passengers require coordination with local health authorities, and we're in close consultation with them. South Africa's health ministry says the ship took off from southern Argentina about 3 weeks ago with 150.
So that fixed it. All right, so. But, you know, listen, I see people saying different things, so we good. All right, most people are saying it's good or we better, so we just gonna roll with it.
50 tourists on board, making multiple stops along the Atlantic Ocean between South America and Africa.
I was kind of shocked considering I had just been on it. So
Rachel Harvey was a passenger on the same ship in December.
You know, I really believe that they're trying to discourage people from traveling. I don't think that these stories that's being aired in mainstream media are just coincidence. I'm seeing a pattern take place right now where they're doing everything in their power to publish inconveniences when it comes to traveling abroad. How many of y'all have noticed that? Because, and the reason I say that, because I'm sure that this virus right here happens all the time, everywhere. And it comes from somebody being trifling, somebody being nasty, somebody not handling food the right way, somebody having rodents and not doing what they need to do. And I believe truly that they want people to be stagnant. And it's all part of the program. Right now, we're in the midst of these people trying to reset the entire financial system. There's a fuel crisis, and they are using these stories to keep people stagnated. It's just something that I'm noticing, y'all. Now, mind you, 3 people passed away. A few, it says, critically sick. And they're leaving these people stranded at sea instead of getting them the proper medical attention. This is what they're doing, leaving these people at sea instead of getting them the proper medical attention. Now, what does that tell citizens who want to take cruises and travel? What is that trying to tell us? That if you go out here and you travel and you get sick, they're going to leave you stranded. Crazy work.
It's a top of the line ship as far as I'm concerned. I thought it was pristine.
And the State Department saying this morning that the administration is this morning a suspected hantavirus outbreak on a.
Yep, they want to monitor us fully. You got it right. You got it right, Tania. And shout out to Tania. She's been holding it down, taking care of business. Shout out to all the moderators.
I keep telling y'all, they made AI for one thing and one thing only. And now they're about to show y'all. The Pentagon just signed deals with some of the most powerful tech companies on Earth. We're talking about Google, Amazon, OpenAI, SpaceX, NVIDIA. And the goal is clear. They want the United States military to become an AI-first fighting force. You heard what I just said? The United States military just made it clear. AI is not coming to war. AI is being built directly into war. Now listen to what this actually means. This isn't just AI helping somebody write reports. This isn't some chatbot just sitting in the office. They are talking about AI being placed inside classified military systems. AI helping process battlefield information. AI assisting with target identification. AI being used for command operations. AI helping with drone systems. AI moving information across military branches faster than human beings could ever keep up with. And the part that should make everybody scared, the highest ranking military officer in the country, Joint Chiefs Chairman General Dan Kane, said autonomous weapons are going to be a key and essential part of everything that we do. You do know what that means, right? Weapons that can operate without human control. Systems that could detect. Systems that could track. Systems that can make decisions faster than a person can even process. So basically, they just gave AI the green light. They're about to turn this shit into the Terminator movie. Those robots that they plan on putting in your houses, they're going to make better ones. And they're going to put them out on the field. But think about the robots that they plan on putting in your houses. What if they hit the switch? What if those robots in your houses are under their control too? What do you think that they made AI for? That's what you got to ask yourself. AI is definitely not what you think. Everybody is wondering, is AI going to take jobs? You got to ask yourself, is AI going to make you a target? Pay attention.
I'm telling you, it's Skynet all over again, y'all. We looking at some real iRobot stuff going on. And then, you know, they're finally putting that 500 billion to use. This is Operation Stargate coming to fruition. That's all it really is. You know, Trump told you what he was going to do, and now it's happening. And right now, we are in some major times of surveillance. The surveillance is off the chain right now. When you go to Daniel 12:4, it tells you, but thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. So with this knowledge being increased, you're talking about some surveillance tech. You're talking about AI tracking. You're talking about data systems. people learning information. Listen, the society we're living in is going to be data dominance in every way. We're coming into a new system where it's going to be data dominant. Yep, that's right. Somebody said it. Atlanta is one of the most watched cities. That's right. And it looks like they're really taking control. I mean, they're watching us everywhere. They're watching us through the phones. They're watching us through our devices. There's cameras everywhere. There's Ring cameras everywhere. Nothing is sacred. Nothing is hidden. And these strides are continuing. Peep this, though, y'all. Peep this.
But the administration has even requested that private satellite companies refrain from imaging the U.S. bases that have been destroyed. And that was confirmed by a satellite company called Planet Labs. Now, a Pentagon official also stated the following: "We do not discuss battle damage assessments for operation security reasons. Our forces remain fully operational, and we continue to execute our mission with the same readiness and combat effectiveness." Well, if what we've seen with Iran so far has been the Pentagon's idea of readiness and combat effectiveness, I really don't know what to say. We're in a lot of trouble.
So it's rumored that a lot of the military bases that was allegedly destroyed by Iran, the Trump administration is putting a pressure on certain satellite companies so that footage is not released. So if that does come out, man, that's gonna do a lot to public perception when it comes to America. I'm gonna say it's rumors until it's actually released, but that story is starting to bubble a little bit here. And everybody knows that ICE just got this major expansion, y'all. They got a major expansion where they were giving billions of dollars. They were given all kind of facilities to be able to detain people. They were given facial recognition technology. They were given certain applications. They were given all kind of applications, everything. Now, some people are saying that ICE purchased some incinerators. Peep this.
ICE is buying incinerators, and now we have proof. A Navy contract was just released showing the Navy is managing the construction of a massive network of immigration detention centers across the nation.
Now, I don't know about no incinerators. I'm going to say allegedly. But what is true is it is confirmed that they have gotten an expansion, a significant expansion for detainees. That part is true. So let me just cover this because I've been seeing this story floating around as well. I'm going to say allegedly, but I want to also say this: with all that we allow ICE to get away with so far, who's to say that absolute power is not going to corrupt? Now, I want you to really consider what I'm saying here, because although I'm going to say allegedly with this, there has been ICE agents in some hot water for torturing people. There's been some ICE agents that got in trouble for rape. And now these individuals who seem to be some type of rogue government entity in itself, Trump's personal militia, are being awarded all this money. I'm just saying, it just don't sit right.
And what's included in the contract is extremely disturbing. It describes tent cities that can hold 10,000 people each, with a specific provision for biohazard incinerators under the medical and death section. That means they are specifically planning for death and choosing to burn the evidence right there on site. The reason DHS is paying the Navy $55 billion for this is so they can get this nationwide network of giant detention centers with infrastructure for handling death built as quickly as possible. And they tried to do it quietly by updating the Navy's existing contract to make this deal instead of creating a new contract specifically for this. Here are my sources if you want more information. ICE is buying incinerators, and now we have proof. A Navy contract was just released.
Now, she shared some sources. Now, of course, yeah, we don't know if ICE is connected with this or is this the Navy getting this funding, but nonetheless, ICE has a lot of expansions. I don't know how she's piecing this all together. We don't know what these are for, but I'm going to just say absolute power corrupts. And in this day and age, man, giving these people power is just the wrong move in itself. All right. But let's continue here.
Hey, breaking fuck news. The ceasefire's over. With this morning's festivities, Donald Trump's announcement of Operation Freedom to try.
That's right. ICE was given $55 billion, y'all. That ain't no light work. That's crazy. $55 billion. And of course, somebody said it. We not scared. We ready. Yeah, we just paying attention. We seeing what's going on. No, we don't have any fear at all. Because we know that this system is really what's going to face destruction. Proverbs 16:18 said, pride go up before destruction and a haughty spirit before a fall. That's the power structures. That's the governments. That's these damn overconfident militaries. They the ones who going to fall. They just setting up their own demise. But let's go.
To use U.S. naval ships to guide ships in the Strait of Hormuz. Iran then proceeded to strike a U.S. vessel, and then now there's drones and missiles being launched into the UAE. Apparently, Israel is now launching more missiles into southern Lebanon, saying they're striking Hezbollah again, and now Israel and the United States apparently are set to strike Iran within the next 24 hours. Ceasefire is dissolved. Now it's been a fucked Monday already. It's probably gonna be a long night of updates and dumb shit. So I'll keep you guys updated with more.
Yeah, the war is gonna continue to escalate. I think people just don't want to hear the truth. Babylon is falling, and the system is being turned on its head, it's being turned upside down. And, at the end of the day, the only people who should be really worried about that is people who don't want to live a lifestyle that seeks repentance. We're not over here, trying to get you to be running around frantic, because once the war is really popping off, then ain't nothing we could do to stop it anyway. But I want you to understand, for the most part, a lot of what you see is theater. A lot of what you see is to bring in a new financial system. And when you really consider it, you'll see it. Think about this. Think about this, y'all. Iran is destroying itself and the rest of the world with closing the Strait of Hormuz. The whole world is being affected. Yes, America's being affected, but Iran is. Everywhere is being affected. And it's beginning to feel like they're doing this on purpose to start a new economic system. That's what it's beginning to feel like.
What if the biggest shifts happening in the world right now are not random headlines, but the predictable behavior of systems under pressure? Tap in, it's your time. Not fate, not magic, patterns. And when you study long cycles, incentives, psychology, and power, you begin to see something. We may be entering one of the most important transition periods of our lifetime. Let's be clear and grounded. Planets do not cause wars, elections, markets, or policy. Human beings do. Institutions do. Incentives do. Fear does. Greed does. Technology does. Astrology used responsibly can be a symbolic timing lens, a way to observe recurring themes. And right now, Pluto is in Aquarius. Historically, Aquarius themes include the people, networks.
Now he's going a little bit deep into some astrology stuff, but I want to point out something. The first portion of what he said is very relevant to what's going on right now. This war is about systems under pressure. You are looking at a beta test. You are looking at a prerequisite for a new system. You are looking at a transition phase. You are looking at the end of the old way to a new era, a new way. That's what you're looking at. And here's the irony of it. They are all working together. They're all working together. It's all like every nation of the earth is planning this. And Christ have to come back, destroy these devils, and wear the crown of every single nation. That's what has to happen. I mean, there's no other way. And once you really see it that way, you stop getting caught up in the games that they're playing. You stop getting caught up in the Hegelian dialect. Stop getting caught up in the mainstream media narrative and start really seeing what the play is. They feel like if they can get you choosing a side, then they won. And that's what's happening right now.
Technology, collective movements, new systems. Pluto themes include power, hidden leverage, control, destruction, and rebuilding. What transforms when pressure becomes too high. So symbolically, Pluto in Aquarius often points towards power moving through networks.
See, what you got to understand is these people believe in order out of chaos. And their order is not the divine righteous order of the Almighty. Their order is complete control. They're fracturing and destabilizing the people. That's what the war is really about.
Old institutions being challenged, technology reshaping social order. Look around. What if the biggest shifts happening in the...
That's just real talk, y'all. That's what's happening right now.
Disturbing news right now that you need to know about. Palantir, the AI mass surveillance company that helps the Trump administration track down people with ICE and bomb civilians in the Middle East, they're now calling for mandatory military service for all Americans, men and women alike, as part of a crazy new manifesto of guidelines for the Trump administration and future administrations. Folks, I'm about to break this entire thing down on my YouTube channel live, so tune in so we can dissect all of it. But let me show you a little bit about what they're saying. Here are some of the most dangerous statements they put out, including the limits of soft power of soaring rhetoric alone have been exposed. They're basically calling for more military power from the United States. Then it says, the question is not whether AI weapons will be built, it is who will build them and for what purpose. So we basically need to go into AI war now. They're also saying national service should be a universal duty. And then below me, they say, if a U.S. Marine asks for a better rifle, we should build it. And the same goes for software. This is only scratching the surface of what they're talking about. Again, I'm going to break it all down on my YouTube channel right now. Tune in, help me expose the truth about what is happening inside the Trump regime right now.
Well, it's more surveillance than ever. And the surveillance is under the auspice of, immigration, when in actuality, man, it's to watch the people. They're afraid of a real spiritual uprising, and it ain't nothing they can do to stop what's happening. Satan is just trying to be like the Most High, know everything. But he can't. It's synthetic. He's a copycat, synthetic version. Straight up. Meanwhile, I want y'all to take a look at what's going on here, because America is going through it.
Does anyone else feel like the world has gotten so weird after 2020? I'll go out to the gas station or go to the store and try to talk to strangers, and they would look at me like I have 3 eyes. It's like talking to strangers now in public is so abnormal. Like, the world's gotten so weird, people don't even talk to strangers anymore, not even a simple hello. Like, you ever try to have a normal conversation and everything just feels off? Like, everyone's just head down on their phones in their own little bubble in their world. Because I swear, pre-COVID was literally a whole different lifetime. After 2020, something changed. I swear, social media and everything that's going on just started dehumanizing people. Because people nowadays have less empathy, less connection, way less real conversation. We're all more connected than ever, but somehow disconnected in real life. People are acting like this is all normal when it's really not. We're supposed to be talking with one another, connecting with each other, because that's the real essence of being human, that human connection. Because if we lose that, think about it, what are we truly becoming? And if you're one of those people that sees what I see, you're not alone. Anyways, follow me for more. Does anyone else feel like the world has gotten so weird after 2020? I'll go out to the gas station or go to the store.
That's when the shift started. All of this stuff is connected. It all started back in 2020. And how many of y'all sensed the difference since then? It seems like everybody's fragmented, everybody's separated. The engagement is just off with people. Human communications is just not the same. There's a real glitch in this timeline we in now, man. And the Bible tells us in 2 Esdras 15:5, it says, "Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction, for wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth." Guess what these plagues are? War is the sword. These viruses that you see coming, plagues, economic issues, that will be considered famines. And you're seeing all of this in real time, and people will sit up there and say, you guys are fear mongering. No, we're not fear mongering. If you're afraid, that means you choose to live that way, because those are the people who are going to be judged. In actuality, this is a call for repentance. It's a call for change. It's a call to change the trajectory of your life and follow Christ as the scriptures have written, because judgment is here. It's really just knocking at the door.
This don't sound familiar. This don't really sound familiar. It's kind of funny how history repeats itself. Read the quote and ask yourself, who does it sound like? Exactly.
Yeah, this was a quote from Sun Tzu. It says, "An evil man will burn his own nation just to rule over the ashes." That's what you got going on. And that's going on with all of the major kingdoms or nations of the earth right now. Straight up.
We have some big news right now. The United States has fallen to its lowest ever point on the World Press Freedom Index, falling to 64th out of 180. We are backsliding on the First Amendment in real time, and it comes as we celebrate World Press Freedom today. A new report from Reporters Without Borders shows that the United States under Donald Trump has fallen dramatically in press freedom. It's not surprising. We see him attack the press almost every single day. We're now at 64th, behind a number of countries from Brazil to Croatia to Costa Rica, Montenegro, and most European countries as well. Less than 1% of the world now lives in a country where press freedom is labeled as, quote, good. That is as alarming as it can get. On this World Press Freedom Day, if you can support my work, subscribe to my Substack link in bio to build a strong and independent press. Because at a time where the president is actively attacking the press every single day practically, normalizing it is not an option. Normalizing it is how we go from 64 down even further. Spread the...
And, you know, in actuality, you know, we got to take advantage of being able to even speak on these issues at this time. Because there'll come a time where we may not be able to speak so freely about what's going on. And people are going to miss the truth just being able to be put out there. You know? People are, you know, we can't take this stuff for granted. And there's times where I put up certain videos and, you know, it's very risky. It's very risky. You know what? I came across this thing here where Hollywood, and, you know, I like to just play certain things that catch my attention, but Hollywood played this weird, sick, perverted stuff as some type of joke. But I want y'all to peep this.
Repeat after me.
Actually, I might get hit with copyright on this one, but what you have here is Will Ferrell doing a straight up ritual. Doing a straight up ritual here. As a matter of fact, I'm going to play this without the sound. All you got to do is look at the optics of this. So you got to understand, like, even in our, I mean, this ain't art. This is, they'll put a clown, somebody who's funny, have him doing a ritual on TV, and they're telling you, you know, that these people serve Baal. I'm going to just keep it a buck with y'all, right? Let me keep it a buck with y'all. America and the powers that rule over America, they're all Baal worshipers. They're all Satanists, including the politicians in the government. They're all demonic as hell. Danica Hunter, thank you for the support. I appreciate it. And listen, America doesn't even hide it. They're Baal worshipers. It's in every fabric of our culture. It's not something you can ignore. And it's apparent. It's apparent and evident.
Surprise missile attack on the UAE with 5 waves of missiles and direct hits on oil facilities. 5 waves of missiles and drones have struck direct targets in the UAE, and American air defenses are working to intercept the cruise missiles right now. This is a surprise attack on the UAE's oil refineries that are...
And America did intercept these missiles, by the way. America did intercept them. This happened yesterday. Let's go.
being used to bypass the stratiform use, and oil prices have now gone up 10% after multiple direct hits across the country as air defenses were inactive at the time of the firing. Oil prices around the world and stock markets are crashing. This also comes with direct hits on multiple vessels within the stratiform use the same day that Iran claims they struck American warships. And we're now getting video of other vessels being struck and the UAE being struck. We can see the cruise missiles above Iran right here, confirming they were fired from the Iranians.
Is it still echoing, y'all? Because somebody asked me to lower the volume. Is it still echoing? Yeah, somebody said, have you heard of Fed Now, Reed? Yes, I've heard of Fed Now. Yeah, because if it's not echoing, then that would mean you need to turn your device down. All right.
The UAE vows they will respond, and that under international law they can respond. With the Americans trying to restrain any sort of attack, and the Israelis trying to push the UAE into an attack, saying they will help them. This is a fast-evolving situation. Make sure to comment your thoughts and make sure to follow me for the newest update. Breaking news, Iran has launched a surprise missile attack on the UAE with...
Yeah, so yeah, they did attack the UAE yesterday. America seen it coming, y'all. And, you know, I believe that Trump in America, we may be underestimating America a little bit when it comes to the war. And, you know, really Trump's goal is to try to get what he's trying to do, what it seems like he's trying to do is get people to buy. Let me see if I can share this. People to buy American oil. That's what it seems like. Hold on one moment. Man, it won't even let me copy it like that. Let me see. No.
5 waves of missiles and direct hits on oil facilities. 5 waves of missiles and drones have struck direct targets in the UAE, and American air defenses are working to intercept the cruise missiles right now. This is a surprise attack on the UAE's oil refineries that are being used to bypass.
I'm at the point where I don't believe nothing that happens is a surprise anymore. This is just part of some master plan, y'all.
So Iran is trolling Donald Trump.
Now, I've seen a lot of people covering this. I'm not going to cover this part because I don't believe it to be true. But I want you to understand that Trump has positioned himself as some type of Messiah figure. And you got to peep this because he's truly operating in an Antichrist type of spirit. Watch this.
I am the chosen one.
Saying no to President Trump would be saying no to God.
Jesus entered Jerusalem as crowds welcomed him with praise, honoring him as king. They call me king now. Do you believe it?
You were betrayed and arrested and falsely accused. It's a familiar pattern that our Lord and Savior showed us.
Many people say that God saved me in order to save America.
I had every right and authority to declare the White House as holy ground because I was standing there, and where I stand is holy.
I am the chosen one.
Say no to President Trump.
Say no to Christian nationalists. Say no to these damn Antichrist bell worshiping Luciferians. Yeah, somebody said the Messiah to sit there and just drink Diet Coke all day. Or the Coke, not even Diet Coke, regular Coke. I'm telling you, man, this is what middle America fell for. And we wonder why we having these issues in the country.
The last shipment of oil from West Asia arrived in California yesterday. And in 2 weeks, when a tanker from China drops off its shipment, the gas shortage will begin. Them $6 a gallon prices are about to double. See, we get about 30% of our oil from the Middle East. And outside of Canada and Alaska, most of our oil comes from a foreign source. So what is the ruling class going to do outside of price gouging to address this loss in capital? Where are they going to get the oil from? And this is where the light bulb is going to go off for a bunch of us, because the answer is Latin America. This is why Trump has been beating the war drum about Mexico, Cuba, and Venezuela. This is why he's been perpetuating the narrative of illegals and narco-terrorists ruining our country. This is also why he bailed out Argentina with $40 billion, and the Argentine president gutted workers' rights because those people are about to start digging for oil a lot harder. Trump is trying to wean us off our dependency in West Asia, the Middle East. And it's not because the resources aren't needed, but because there's already an entity over there doing imperialism. It makes more sense for you to focus your leg of imperialism on your neighbors who have been attempting socialism for the last 60 years, especially if you could turn a profit. The last shipment of oil from West Asia arrived in California.
It's going to get real in a few days. I mean, it's already getting real in some places. Gas went up $1 since yesterday, but we're seeing it with the groceries going up as well. And it's something that we can really prepare for it just by, stocking up as much as you can and doing what it is you got to do. You know, right now we have a little window of opportunity to prepare for what's going on. I think we should take that.
Inflation is real. Soon, we're not even going to be able to afford to eat. How the fuck is this $13.99? $14? For a what? A gallon of orange juice? Y'all must be out of y'all fucking mind. Inflation is real. Soon, we're not even.
Yeah, $14 for a gallon of orange juice. That's crazy. But that's just the beginning. Pretty soon, I believe that a lot of these fast food joints are going to start going out of business, just like you've seen Spirit Airline went out of business too. And this guy right here is about to talk about that. And this is something we've already actually started seeing this over the course of the last year, certain places being shut down.
I predict that tons of fast food and restaurant places are going to go out of business before they figure it out. What am I talking about? The fact that it's so damn much money to go out to eat right now that people just aren't doing it anymore. And if they do it, they're going to places that have actually gotten it. What do I mean by gotten it? Okay, so I can go to In-N-Out for half the price of every other fast food place, and the food is better. I can go to Chili's, BJ's, or Red Lobster and get a meal for lunch for under $20 or happy hour $5 margaritas. Well, you can't go to McDonald's or Chipotle for under $20 now. Yeah, if you hit the dollar menu, you use the app and you do little tricks and stuff. Me and my son went to Chipotle the other day. The video's everywhere. It was $52.64 for the two of us to get 2 bowls and 2 drinks. Like, these people have lost their minds. A lot of these fast food places and a lot of these sit-down places. Like Denny's, me and my son went to Denny's to have breakfast. It's a Denny's. It was over $62 for the two of us to have coffee and our breakfast. And I was like, what the hell did we eat? Yeah, we left a 20% tip, but I was like, $60 for Denny's? Like, are you people nuts? Yeah. And then I saw an article the other day that
that's crazy because the person who said Denny's right there, they said it before the guy said it. So it must be serious at Denny's and IHOP. That's wild.
Denny's has a whole bunch of restaurants closing. And it's just like these places are just going to keep going under, guys, because they don't get it. They jack the prices as high as they could possibly get it. They got this thing where like, okay, this is the most important quarter. Now this is the most important quarter. We just got to keep squeezing people over and over for as much money as we can get out of them. And you squeeze so hard that now all these places are way too expensive. Like right now you can go to Chili's at lunch. You can get a burger or a chicken sandwich, fries and a drink for $9.99 and walk out of Chili's. Chili's is packed at lunch. They figured it out. Red Lobster, happy hour, $5 margaritas. Red Lobster's packed at happy hour? Does that seem right to you? Nah. Doesn't seem right to me. It's great for Red Lobster. Love it. But they figured it out. A lot of these places just jacked the prices so high, never came back down. And you see all these layoffs. You see all these businesses closing. You see all these businesses in bankruptcy. It's because they jacked the prices way too high and squeezed people way too hard and never came back down. And they'd rather go out of business than take a loss for a couple of quarters, get the prices back down to where they should be, and get their customers some value again. It's absolutely crazy when I see it. Let me know, are you guys still going out to eat? Because we really try to avoid it whenever we can, and we try to cook at home. Even that's crazy with the grocery prices, but it's still better than going out.
Yeah, definitely. Meal prepping is the key. So when we talk about preparation, we're not just talking about you having a whole bomb shelter or a whole food pantry to yourself and you out here, just wilding. We're just talking about making slight adjustments in your life. Get you some Tupperware and meal prep. People say that it costs more to eat healthy. It's actually the opposite. If you listen, you can go to Aldi's and get you a bag of 5-pound potatoes for like $8. You can get you a thing of chicken breasts, a big family pack of chicken breasts, $25. And literally, you could survive off of something like that. Grab you some broccoli. Listen, you could spend $100 and eat for a whole week. But if you're by yourself, it may not be something you want to eat, but it's good. I mean, it's good for you and it'll get you through. You know what I mean? Like, these are the slight adjustments. And I think the American way has kind of spoiled us as people. A lot of these civil liberties, a lot of these luxuries that we're used to, with things going the way it's going, man, they may not be so accessible anymore. And that's just part of preparing for what's coming. You know, that's just part of it.
Oh, the U.S. is bankrupt and y'all missed it. While we're worried about everything else, these people have trusted and now have the audacity to act surprised when the same man who defrauded and bankrupted numerous businesses, universities, charities, and casinos has now bankrupt the supposed richest country in the world. Y'all ain't gonna believe this shit. So the U.S. Treasury declared just a few days ago that America is insolvent. What is insolvent?
I'm hearing a little something in that voice over here, man. I don't know, man. I'm hearing a little something going on over here, but what this person is talking about is true, though. America, for the first time in history, America's gross is less than its debt. That's for the first time in history. So, yep. Somebody said dry beans, brown rice. Yep, all of that.
We broke. We broke as a motherfucker.
And that voice in that neck, man. But anyway,
Well, breaking fuck the news. What I'm about to play is footage that I have discovered of a missile barrage striking the northern part of Israel. And I'm gonna be honest with you, when you watch this footage, it looks like something straight out of a fucking movie. It looks like the Transformers are coming down in full force. It looks like when the Decepticons invaded Chicago.
It's a lot of shape-shifting stuff going on out here, man. I'm just saying, man, I don't know. My discernment be kicking in like, oh, hold up now. Something wrong with the frequency, man. Something ain't right. Ain't right, it ain't right. You gotta go with your gut feeling, man. Somebody says, FBA from Michigan checking in. What's good? What's good? But look at this, man. This is wild. And this happened 3/3/26. This is, I believe right here, this is the attack on the UAE.
This is what.
So there was an attack. Iran did attack the UAE. However, they were unable to hit any U.S. military ships because that's another thing. People have been saying that. I have to come on here sometimes. You know, sometimes when I do these streams, it's not just to push that, oh, y'all, you know, hey, it's going down, it's happening, this, that. Sometimes, like if you notice in this stream, I had to clear up a lot of things that I see a lot of other people saying that ain't true. You know how many people are running around getting viral numbers just saying that Iran blew up a U.S. military warship? You know how many people are running with that? Or the whole Uno card story? None of that stuff is true. And the reason I know is because I research before I cover stories. And so sometimes it's like I'm on these streams to just kind of keep us level-headed and grounded, because sometimes they're giving you stuff that's not happening. You know? Now, there was an attack on the UAE. However, it wasn't directed towards, I mean, it was directed towards the UAE, but it didn't hit America. It didn't hit an American warship. They intercepted that. Now, of course, you know what we do around this time. We check in to see what the people are talking about, because you know that's how we do on this channel. That's what makes this commentary so interesting. We cover what's going on in the news, and then we pivot over to what the citizens are talking about. We let iron sharpen iron. What are those who are conscious minded talking about? How they feeling? How we feeling? And we go from there. All right, so y'all know how we do it. So let's get over there. My bad. You already know what time it is. Shout out to the Hebrew Hub. All right. And make sure you get the likes up.
Here in the USA, we see a staggering 78% of farmers say that they cannot afford the fertilizer that they need for the year 2026. Food shortages are coming. Supply chain issues are coming. I'm begging you and your family to spend what you can wisely to get staple foods that are going to double in price. If at no other reason, you'll have hedged against the inflation that's about to come. So this is the highest amount of farmers ever in the history of the United States of America that have said that they do not have what they need to plant the crops that feed our country. The region's most vulnerable areas are coming down to a severe choice. Either do not plant at all and claim bankruptcy, or put 15-20% in the ground. Only 19% of farmers in a certain area locked in their fertilizer ahead of time. This is far behind some of the other regions. This trails both the Northeast and the West, and the hesitation is now one of the most costly in American history. From cotton to rice to peanuts to corn, these farmers produce massive amounts, especially in the South. So think of gas prices going up when the ethanol from the corn goes up. These are the most fertilizer-intensive crops. Rice costs over $1,300 per acre.
And this brother's right on point. In case you don't know, it's already been aired on the news that because of this fertilizer that's locked up in the Strait of Hormuz, there's going to be a lot of crops, a lot of agriculture that's going to either stifle or it's going to be extremely expensive at some point. And again, the world powers, they operate on problem, reaction, solution. And this doesn't just affect America, this affects the entire globe. So, I think that they're going to come up with something for some people where they can kind of bypass the shortage. And this is how the mark of the beast is going to be implemented. I'm telling you right now, we are looking at the formulation or the formation of the mark of the beast system. We're seeing it. They're going to have reasons why you can't have access to stuff. And then they're going if you compromise a little bit here, then you can get access to it. That's what this dystopian future is going to look like. Trying to make people compromise to get the bare necessities and bare minimum.
To produce peanuts more than 1,000, cotton nearly 1,000, far higher than wheat and soybean. No one is talking about the fact that closing the Strait of Hormuz is the equivalent of a long-duration war, and some people say it might as well be a nuclear war. It's almost as if both sides of this conflict see it as a status quo.
Mm-hmm.
Fertilizer is the biggest issue, up to 20% of the global oil supply, guaranteed to cause society-wide collapse. I'm seeing right now videos out of European countries, Australia, multiple areas in the Middle East, where guys with firearms are running in vehicles just to go steal gas from other vehicles. That's like Mad Max style collapse. The breakdown of supply chains in an event like this will rapidly escalate. we will see possibly a large-scale fallout from it. What most people don't think about is that our modern world today relies on a heavy, electrified, integrated, computerized, communicating, just-in-time system. And what they have just done is broken down that system. Now, folks, China's Ministry of Commerce, they issued a formal injunction. They said that this was aimed at countering U.S. sanctions against domestic refineries that are accused of processing the oil that China gets from Iran. Reports now are saying that these depots have called this a direct challenge to Washington's so-called long arm of jurisdiction. This move is a representative, notable escalation in the contest over global energy markets. Now, what America is trying to do is stop China from being able to supply energy. What China is doing is going to stop America from being supplied anything.
And this is how the energy crisis is going to start. And once that begins, you're going to start seeing electric bills go up. You know, America really doesn't want to get into that back and forth with China. Because, you know, a lot of things that we have comes from where? China. But also that America has a play, you know, like let's be fair and balanced about all of this. Like, so we don't think that America just doesn't have any cards at all. You got to understand the petrodollar is still the world's currency. It still is technically right now. It still is. So whatever play that Trump got going on, it could be that, or whatever play that America may have, whatever it is, they are trying to get the rest of the world to purchase oil from America. And the way you do that is just chaos. You keep on targeting everybody, you keep the intimidation going, and the goal ultimately is to make everybody so afraid that they just get everything from America. That'll be the only way that, you know, America can even come out of this on top. Let's just be honest about it. That's the only way. I mean, and America, their foot is so on the gas, they can't let up now. They can't show no weakness. That's why Trump's still talking about he's going to blow Iran off the map and he's going to destroy them. He's still talking crazy like that. You know, that's the only real play they got at this point.
Up to 80% of the items on a shelf at big box stores come from directly China or are directly supplied on Chinese ships. Now, the Commerce Ministry has just made it so that they can, in fact, stop supplying America with anything that they need to.
Yeah. Yeah, China definitely can make that happen. They can make it extremely difficult.
Tonight, our team inside Cuba at the massive May Day demonstrations there as President Trump increases pressure with new sanctions against the Cuban government. Gas now costing up to $40 a gallon there. So what are the Cuban people saying about their future? Matt Rivers in Havana for us.
Tonight, as thousands of Cubans took to the streets of Havana for May Day, in Washington, President Trump expanding sanctions against the Cuban government. A 4-month U.S. oil blockade already straining a struggling economy, but the U.S. intent on regime change.
You see, that's why America set up these blockades. They're trying to force all these countries to only get oil from America. That's the play. Now, I did hear in some recent news that somebody, and oh man, maybe I have the news clip, but I want to say it was Congress or some part of the government is refusing Trump's blockade in some place. But, you know, this is the play right here.
That building right there is the U.S. Embassy here in Havana, and today the Cuban government is surging hundreds of thousands of people right past its front door with a clear message. The Cuban government is not backing down.
We've traveled to Havana, where many go without power and often without food, and fuel costs $40 a gallon. Pediatrician Maria Elena Mesa forced to hitchhike to work. And inside the darkened hallways, they've scaled back operations, dimming lights to conserve power, using air conditioning only in critical areas. Care now hard to provide for the smallest patients. It's a little difficult, she says, fighting back tears, but she tells me she will keep working despite it all. At night, we witness Cuba's new normal, the island descending into darkness. We walk toward Idania Costa's home in the pitch black. For months now, her family has lived by candle and flashlight. Her daughter, Eliani, doing homework in the dark, and when it's time for dinner, bringing that one flashlight with her. Idania tells me it is.
Yeah, Cuba's still going through it, y'all. This is the work of America. This is what America did, man. But you know the irony of this, the stuff that America did to Cuba, if we're not careful, we're going to be in the same position. I'm serious. If we're not careful, everything that just happened to Cuba is going to make its way right to America. $40 gallon gas, power outages everywhere. Yeah, Cuba been going through this for a while now, and that's the handiwork of America. See, they thought they were going to be able to go to Iran and just do the same thing. But this is what's going on, y'all.
It's the people who suffer in the tug of war between the U.S. and Cuba. David, the U.S. government argues that it's the Cuban government itself that is responsible for a lot of the suffering that you just saw, and many people here do in fact want to see regime change. As one taxi driver told me, things are so bad, quote, many people want to see the U.S. come and attack, but they don't realize just how bad war can be. As the U.S.-Cuba standoff intensifies, millions of Cubans are celebrating International Workers' Day this morning amidst devastating economic hardship. An oil blockade implemented by the U.S. squeezing the island nation, cutting off not just power and fuel, but for some, access to clean water.
Yeah, that blockade it squeezed them out, man. It's the blockade that did it. Of course, the news is always going to program you to believe that people want these regime change, and they just couldn't wait for America to come in and rescue. No, that's the product of imperialism and colonialism, y'all. They're gonna tell us that in the media. Nobody asked for that. Nobody asked to have their power cut off and be, exploited like that.
I'm just gonna be completely and brutally honest. Gas prices are fucking ridiculous. Fucking ridiculous, okay? Fucking ridiculous. I put $20 in my gas tank. And this is all it gave me. This is all it gave me, okay? That's it. That's it. $5 fucking a gallon. Got me 4 gallons of gas. Less than 4 gallons of gas. Because I don't even think that it actually gave me 4 gallons. It was like 3.8 fucking gallons. And that's all it gave me. Like, this shit is bananas. This economy is fucked. We are fucked. And people ain't mad enough for me. We're just not mad enough. We're just not mad enough. Okay? Rent is too high. Mortgages are too high. Food is too high. Gas is too high. Life is too high. I am over it. When are we gonna uprise? When are we gonna start fighting back? When are we gonna take life fucking serious? Our government is butt fucking us. Okay? And we ain't doing enough about it. Nothing at all.
On my life, y'all bullshitting, bro. Y'all bullshitting. And what I mean by that, my niggas, ain't nobody trying to do nothing. Ain't nobody trying to do nothing.
It's going to get to a time where people going to be really doing something. But they're not going to do what you think they're going to do. Prophetically speaking, ain't nobody about to go overthrow the government. You're going to wait. You're going to have people out there that wait for everything to fall and be watching innocent people. You're gonna be seeing people who watching little old ladies carrying in their appliances and breaking into houses. People are gonna always turn in on each other, bro. Like, it ain't about to be no rise of the Jakes type of situation. I be telling people, I'm just a realist about it, man. Look, the Bible jump off the page. It's gonna be a lot of people afraid, people not knowing what to do, or people literally going after their neighbors. That's what's gonna happen. That's why I'm always stressing the importance of getting around people who you can trust, or at least build certain relationships around you. Cause ain't nobody finna do nothing about this. If they were gonna do something, they would have done it already. Let me see. Conan says you're spot on again. I wish people would push up against the powerful, not the weak. Exactly. Yeah, that's right. Underground said most people aren't warriors. That's right. It's just the truth, y'all.
So what the fuck the government is doing to us, man? So we just gonna sit here and take this shit? So we just supposed to take everything they doing to us, man? Listen, let me tell y'all something, bro. They went over there and stole all this oil. They went to us and stole all this oil. But got nerves, they want to sit here and want to raise the gas prices on us. Let me tell y'all something, bro, what they just did, bro. They went over there, stole some shit that wasn't theirs, brought it back over here, and now they trying to triple their money up off of us, man. And we just sitting around here taking this shit, bro. That's the shit that be pissing me off every motherfucking day I wake up.
That's exactly what they did. The rich just continue to get richer and the poor get poorer, bro. Like, y'all got to understand, the whole idea is to destroy the middle class. The whole idea is to have elitism be the rulers, be the ruling class. Bro, I mean, it's just what it is, man. Like, the people, like I said this before, the government does not have its own funding. It's all of our tax dollars. It funds the whole government. No such thing as government funding. Like, they're literally just playing with the people. They're literally just playing with the people. They're playing with the citizens. Like, they're taking our money and getting rich. A president gets in office, he wiggles his way in there by lobbyist funding. And then when he gets in there, he just tries to figure out the best way to jug and finesse the system as the president to align himself with billionaires and different corporations. And they just keep on pimping the people out. That's what America is. That's what it is. Corporate greed.
Look, man, I wake up, I see everybody just going on by their life like none of this shit matters, bro. But let me go do something. Y'all gonna lock me up right away, man. No, bro. No, man, it don't work like that, bro. It don't work like that, bro. You know how many motherfucking crimes I committed and went to prison for what I did because I did what I did? And this motherfucker is running around with all these felonies. They doing all this shit to us and we ain't doing nothing. But let me do something. Y'all motherfuckers gonna want me locked up right away, man. No, fuck that, man. Hey, I'm telling y'all right now, bro. We gotta do something, bro.
Look, let us get a parking ticket. We getting locked up for unpaid parking tickets. They lock us up for raising our voice. And look, they lock us up, call it public. What do they call that? Public disturbance. They lock us up for jaywalking. They lock us up for tax evasion. Imagine that. You're living in a time where these people got on, listen, they on files for eating children, eating them. They out here murking people, burying them under the island. They ran the hugest trafficking ring in mankind, raping women. And when you look at this, man, it make you feel like, and it was this one guy I was watching on Instagram, and he said, he was like, we're in a time where people feel hopeless, like they could just do anything because the world powers get away with everything. But the truth is, ladies and gentlemen, the truth is, the more these people are out of control, the closer we're supposed to get to the Most High. That's the real power. That's the real power. Because guess what? They're going to destroy each other. The wicked going to judge the evil. Yeah, they're afraid of basing our voices. We even sneeze wrong. We a problem.
We got to do something. Ain't no way. We should fuck working. Stop working. Stop doing all that. Ain't no way. We supposed to be going right down on Washington right now, bro. We supposed to be at the motherfucking door, nigga. But y'all too busy running around here worried about the Joneses, bro. Y'all ain't got no heart. Where's your courage, bro? To the man. To the man. Where's the man, bro? Where's the man at? But y'all can sit around here all day. The police could go around killing innocent people. Civilians could go around killing innocent people. Y'all could do all this. But when we got the real threat in our face, motherfuckers ain't doing nothing, bro. Y'all ain't on shit, bro. I'm ready to fight, nigga. I'm ready to fight. Now, I ain't talking about against no whites, against blacks, no Asians. I'm talking about all of us, nigga. All that fooky ass shit, all that punk shit, goofy shit out the window, nigga. Ain't no, we supposed to be like this right now, boy. Blacks, Mexicans, goddamn it, Asians, all of us supposed to be together. Even if the, now listen, bro. I'm gonna keep this hot, bro. And this is good as it's gonna get right here, man. If motherfuckers don't come together, G, it's over for us, bro. Y'all thinking motherfuckers just sitting here crazy and shit, bro. It really is.
I mean, he right, man. We gotta have a standing army. You know, we gotta have some type of unity. And I'm not gonna sit up here and say it's I'm not gonna say that it's completely over for us, but the Most High definitely say unity is needed. Unity is needed. I think that we got to have people who operate in a standing army, and we got to have the intellects. Everybody, when we say come together, it's more than one way. So the brother, the way he's speaking, it's in a way of we just need to boot up and rise up. But man, we can come together in so many ways, y'all. We can come together in so many ways. Everything that we're strong at, you know. Let's go.
Y'all need to think about that, bro.
Yep. I agree. Let's get one more of these videos and see what the people talking about.
I've just got to elaborate. I mean, how could anybody think anything is going to change? You really got to be unconscious. If you believe anybody connected to elections, voting, officials, governors, mayors, councilmen, councilwomen, house speakers, parish presidents. You got to be unconscious if you believe anything is going to change when these people don't acknowledge what they've done. You don't get to do all of that. And continue on as if nothing ever happened. That's how it's not going to work. That's how you know they're lying to you again. You see what I'm saying? They're lying to the people again. Everybody who talking about voting, midterms, having videos about election, talking about this white man did this white man said that, finding all kind of headlines that's talking about this one and what they did. They've been know those people was doing all these things.
Mm-hmm.
You can never solve a problem if you don't know what the root cause is. We've never went to the root. We never went to the root. There's a lot of pus in the root. There's a lot of blood in the root. There's a lot of rotten in the root. America was built on colonization. America colonized. They pillaged, they raped, they slaughtered masses and masses and masses of people. There is so much blood on the lands of the United States of America. Did you hear what I said? There is so much blood shed. I feel it in my spirit. America has shed so much blood, y'all. It is saddening. If you really sit down and think about all of the blood that these European colonizers shed, all of the abuse, all of the atrocities, there are no words to explain, to describe, to mention the evilness of America, of white America. Anybody would carry their asses to the voting poll and vote for anybody, black or white, because the black people know what the white people done.
This should be the status quo moving forward. No more of that cooning, talking about you Democrat or you Republican. Throw all that damn BS out of the window. They're all colonizers. The system is not set up for you. They came over here and took our land. We were here already. You know, foundational Black Americans were already here. We are the Indians of the land. We are the indigenous people of the land. So all of that, you know, voting and all of that and picking one side or another, like that, after this term is up, if we ever get out of the Trump regime, look, if we ever get out of the Trump regime, y'all, we gotta lift the standards here. The Bible says, woe to a land that was built on blood. Guess what? This land was built on our blood. So it's not woe to us. Now, sometimes when I'm doing these videos, I don't think people understand where my mind be at and what the message I'm really trying to put across. Judgment is not coming to us as a whole. I mean, what I mean by that is we were already here on this land. We're going to have divine intervention on our behalf in a lot of ways. And a lot of us already have. But this is this land belongs to us. The heathens here are the ones going to get judged because they stole this land from us. You know, Christ is going to have to rectify this situation because these devils stole everything. Everywhere they go, they pillage and colonize.
What the colonizer done, what the European white man done, but they want to play with them. They're saying it's okay, we're going to forget about it, and we ain't going to talk about it, we ain't going to read, but they can continue to reiterate.
That's right. They keep on reiterating to get you down to them voting polls to keep you a mental slave. And whole time underground, you right. They think we over here fear mongering because they looking at our thumbnails and titles. They're not even watching the videos. You got people come over here and stop fear mongering. Nah, what we doing is enlightening our people, emboldening our people, encouraging our people. That's what's really happening over here.
What melanated people have gone through and have experienced. It's okay that we continue to inflict the pain, pick the scab on the melanated people's wound. We can keep picking at it. Every time we think that in here, we're gonna pick at that again. Peel that scab. You see? America has never paid for their atrocities. This is what everybody failing to understand.
Yep. They never paid for their atrocities. You think they just never gonna pay? You think the only country that dropped a bomb in Hiroshima, a nuke, you think they're not gonna pay? You think the only country that thinks it's cool to be bombing schools and churches? Show me another country that's going to other countries bombing their schools and churches. Show me. Somebody right now in the chat, name me a country outside of, let's say, Nazi Germany that went out here and just decided that it's cool to be bombing damn schools and hospitals as an act of war. I don't care what your belief system is. Karma is a law. It don't matter what listen, you could be somebody who don't believe in the Bible. You could be somebody who you could be, I don't care what walk of life you're from. You could be a new ager. You can, whatever you call yourself. The concept of what goes around comes around is known. They actually got a scientific term for that. I can't think of it right now, but you just don't do stuff and think it's not going to come back.
So why would I go vote for somebody who have shed so much blood, have taken so many innocent lives? Why would I go vote for anybody calling themselves a governor, a mayor, parish president, councilwoman, a house speaker, and all of these names they're giving it? Why would I go vote for any of these people and they do not talk about America's atrocities, all of the blood that America shed, all of the pain America caused? This is why I'm telling y'all, anybody who talking about election, they're trying to get y'all to consent again. Everybody got a price, y'all. Everybody got a price. It's saddening. It is so saddening. It is so saddening that people truly believe anybody in the government is going to change anything about the system that is corrupt. It's corrupt to the core.
Nobody's going to change it in this system.
To the core. And if they don't take accountability for what they have done, the atrocities, the trauma, generations of atrocities, generations of trauma, they never took accountability for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
These people have never said, we are sorry. They're not trying to make their wrongs right. They are trying to get away without paying back their karma.
That's why their children's children are getting cursed. That's why you're seeing all these birth rates struggling and suffering in the middle of America. That's why their depression rate, their self-deletion rate is all the way up. Their wombs are being left barren. This is why their husbands are out of control, dealing with they're the highest convicted sex offenders. This is why they are, the nature itself is taking a lot of them out, because guess what? They just won't do right by the children of the Most High. So y'all got to understand, when we talk about these topics, we are reinforcing that their evil clutches and their leadership will come to an end. Yeah. Like it's only so long that you grotesque Baal worshiping sodomites can continue ruling over God's people. People are disgusting. This is only so long these weirdos and freaks can, push their propaganda to keep us afraid. It's only so long they can hide who we are. Like it's only but so long that the colonizers can pretend to be the moral authority. How long are we going to accept a bunch of PDF files, Satan worshiping pagans? How long are we going to accept them being the moral authority? As if they're somehow more superior than us, when it's obvious. And it's completely obvious we're greater than them in every way. I mean, think about all of the generations of trauma we've been through, and still we are the most influential people on the earth. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? Where the whole world is constantly trying to wag their finger at melanated people, when you can only really pick out a few bad apples, when the numbers don't lie when it comes to these people. You could pick out a few bad apples that you've corrupted through your industries. These manufactured villains that you created for us to rule over us. Your P. Diddy's and your Jay-Z's and all them, your Beyonce's and all them, y'all created them, were created characters. As far as we concerned, that's the thing. We don't look at them as leaders in our community because they're not leaders. They're entertainers. Some entertainers that grew up, born and raised in the industry. Them people don't represent us. The everyday, ordinary, melanated person is not out here being a PDF file. They're not out here being Satan worshipers. The average, everyday, melanated person is an upstanding, decent human being. And I'm gonna say this too. And it's not just, and it's people who are decent human beings out of all walks of life. But however, look who's running the world and look who's running it into the damn ground. That should tell you that the wrong people are ruling the world. Their time is about up. Everybody's suffering. The damn animals in the zoo look sad. Everybody's suffering because these people ruling. It's like the children are forced to grow up too quick because they can't even go outside and play. Like you living in a world where your kids can't go outside and play like they used to. They can't go riding their bikes until the street lights come on. That's the type of world these heathenistic beings have created. And we still looking up to them for answers. They don't have no damn answers. We are the answer. We the answer. Yeah, these people out here opening portals and, I mean, for real. Causing all this damn pollution and famine, and they the reason why it's food deserts in the first place. And then they want to buy up all the land to do what? Build data centers. These people are demonic. How the hell are you going to buy up all the good farmland to build data centers so they could spy on you all damn day? Just to show you how weird these bastards are. They say, look, let's cut off the world's food supply. Let's cut off the world's food supply. Let's 3D print meat. Take all the human remains and sell it in our fast food. And we'll use these data centers so we can just spy on people while they take showers. These are the type of weird ass people that's ruling the world. That you voting for, talking about, oh man, when this person get elected, I know things gonna be sweet. Man, shut up. Y'all gotta forgive me if I'm being a little aggressive, y'all, because I I ain't really sleep that much these last couple of days. I've been working on music. I've been in the lab. I get a little aggressive. I ain't got my sleep. But for real, man, it's just when you wrap your mind around it, man, these people are just sick. And then what's even worse? You know what's even worse than them? People who try to sit up there and defend these people. I don't care what color, I don't care what your pigmentation is, your color is. Anybody trying to defend these bastards, you're worse than them. It's like, are you just that much of a submissive slave? Like, what's wrong with you? Telling you, man. Yeah, a bunch of damn satanic voyeurs with nuclear codes. Man, let's go.
So if they get away with not paying their karma, they're not going to stop.
That's right. They didn't get their karma yet. They ain't gonna stop until it is at their front door. What's this? Witchcraft in the US.
So tell me, you say a lot of witchcraft in Africa. I was like, there's more witchcraft in America than anywhere in the world.
Really?
I may have to agree with that. Africa is the origin of all world religions. Witchcraft is prevalent all over the world, but let's hear the reasoning with this.
I'm serious. It's just packaged differently. It's packaged in a way that people have accepted it. People accept white witches. There's no such thing as a good witch. None. All witchcraft is bad.
Yep.
Anybody that is connecting with the devil, whether it's New Age, whether it's witchcraft, whether it's Church of Satan, Scientology, it's all the devil. If you open the door for the enemy to come in through whatever it is that we're doing, the attributes of the devil is to steal, to kill, to destroy homes, families, children, businesses, just everything. And you can see how much our society has gone to a place where it's just so dark and demonic. There are just two forces in the world, God and the devil. Human beings are in the greater balance of power in the universe. Mm-hmm. There's the power of God and there's the power of the devil. Human beings don't have power. We have authority. Let that sink in. Mm-hmm. We don't have power like the devil. We don't have power like God. We have authority. And if we give our authority to God, God intervenes in the world. Mm-hmm. If we give our authority to the devil intervenes and messes up our world. So the reason why our world is so crazy is because human beings have failed to give their authority to God.
I understand.
So,
yep, I mean, witchcraft has been so mainstreamed. You got them marketing witchcraft to kids, man. Y'all got to be careful what your daughters and sons are watching, because they be marketing this they be packaging witchcraft as fun little games and stuff. So you gotta look out, man. There's some real spiritual warfare going on. That's real talk.
Every time when my check hit, I just say, you know what? I'm about to be fucked over. I'm about to be fucked over like a whore. Gas bill came out, water bill came out, light bill came out, paid my insurance Monday, plus had to pay the renewal fee, which was $1,700, which I had, so I'm not complaining about that. But think about those who have to scrap up more money for a renewal fee for their insurance and who don't have the extra money to pay for that. We are being pimped out like fucking horse, and I really do mean that. I don't understand it. I don't get it. But I don't even look at my checks. I don't look at my bank accounts no more. I just be like, take it all. Take it, pay the bills. I'll be all right. As long as I have a roof over my head, water bill paid, everything is paid, I'm good. But all I'm going to say is this: we are being pimped out like some prostitutes. Because let me tell you something, they made that song just really hard out here for a pimp.
What do you do when your whole world is falling apart and there's nothing you can do about it? I'm going to lose my home. I don't earn enough to survive in this world. No matter how hard I work, no matter what I do, it's just never enough money. So I'm just constantly in survival mode and struggling financially. And the world and the economy is just getting worse, in my opinion, especially when you are low income. It's just not set up for people who are low income. And that's just the simple truth of it all. And it's just getting worse and worse, and it's depressing, it's stressful, it's frustrating. It's just hard to live in a world that's not meant for someone like me, or maybe someone like you who's in the same situation.
So you see what the streets is talking about. You see what's going on with the people. And yeah, you know that, you know, we try to find ways to kind of I want to use the word like not even motivate, but no, we don't find ways to try to make people feel comfortable in this system. We really don't. I was about to say that we kind of try to you know, make people feel as if, you know, everything is going to be all right, and it will, but it's going to require some action too. Like I was saying before, man, you know, everything that we used to do 10, 20, 15 years ago, thinking that it would work, you just got to change your whole mind. Like it's like you seeing what industries are in trouble. You seeing everything that's going on. You're just gonna have to change. You like the dude that was probably, you know, the last dude that was talking. He talking about he surrenders. He's just gonna give up his. That's just a defeated mentality. You got to find other ways. You know what I'm saying? You just got to find other ways. Like you got to innovate, recreate, adapt, because you're not just living for yourself. Yeah, Tristan said it. He said he worry about the young ones. So that's what I'm saying. Like you got to be able to have some answers, because this is the thing. The world powers don't have no answers. We should be able to look from within ourselves and have answers. It should be iron sharpening iron. Like the real issue is we look for those people to take care of us like they are father. You know what I mean? The people don't owe us nothing. And they're not gonna get, they owe us a lot, but they ain't gonna give us what they owe us. So we got to figure out how to get it.
You know, my car transmission is going out. I need a new battery. I don't know how much longer I have with this car. The fact of the matter is I'm going to be homeless and with a car that barely works when it wants to. And I just don't make enough financially to survive. And my mental health is at an all-time low.
I also want to speak to that. Y2K says, you are disarming yourself just waiting for Jesus. That's not what he wanted. He said, he wanted greater than he did. Exact. That's what I'm saying. See, that's a brother that reads. That's a brother that read right there. Yes, Christ is the king. The real Christ, as the scriptures have written, is the king. However, Christ never told you Show me listen, look, we're gonna stop here for a second. Somebody show me one scripture where Christ just said, look, you know, I know the world is in, and just wait on me. You ain't got to do nothing, just wait on me. Don't worry about it. I'm coming to get y'all. That's not in there. Literally, Christ was like, gather yourselves together, O nation not desired. Christ said that. He didn't say, oh, wait for me to come get y'all. He said, gather yourselves together. That's what he said. Oh, when you see Jerusalem compassed with armies, flee into the mountains. Jesus said that. He never told you to be stagnant. That's why you got to ask yourself, why these damn churches don't never tell you what's going on in the world. People will blast my material and say I'm fear mongering, but then when you go to Sunday service, they're not telling you nothing. They're not preparing you for the time we're living in. The Most High also said within his scriptures that we will be his battle axe. That means we are his people who want to put in that work. It also said, faith without works is dead. It's dead. I mean, like, I know that a lot of the times the religious community, they just want to hear, oh, everything gonna be all right. But no, it ain't gonna be all right. If it's not gonna be all right if you have a person with selfish energy. It is not going to be all right if you're someone who don't support anybody, because how do you expect to reciprocate that energy? How do you expect to be supported and you don't help nobody in their time of need? How could you expect for people to look out for you and you never looked out for nobody? Listen, I'm going to tell you, to have a selfish energy in the last days, that's one of the most fatal characteristics to walk around with. It just is. Because when your character has to be relied on, how you treat other people, who you are, what type of morals you have, what type of integrity you stand on, when that becomes your survival mechanism and you ain't got it, you take away somebody's bank account, you take away somebody's flashy clothes, you take away all that allegedly makes them them, then you're going to see who people really are once you strip them down and put everybody on equal playing grounds. Let's say the financial system collapses. You put everybody on equal playing grounds. Who going to make it? Who going to really make it? Who going to have the know-how, the wherewithal? Who going to know how to be among people? Who going to know how to carry themselves with dignity and respect? Who going to know how to respect others as they want themselves respected? That's what's going to matter. Your character. If you somebody out here eyeballing somebody else's wife, if you somebody out here that don't have no rules that you live on and stand on, you're gonna get hurt out here. You're gonna get hurt out here. You one of these people out here with no type of decorum, who always talking about the next person, you carrying jealousy, and you just don't know how to get along with others, and you like to spread rumors, you're not gonna make it. You ain't gonna make it. If you somebody who's full of greed and you a person who likes to take but you never give, you're not gonna make it. Not gonna make it. And see, the discomfort that a lot of people in America is feeling is because the Most High is trying to pull them out of the American way. Because this way is failing.
I'm struggling in every single way, and no one gives a crap. There's no help, there's no resources, there's nothing there. And I just don't know how to survive like this anymore, and I don't want to survive like this anymore. I just feel I am completely just over it all. I'm just done.
Does anyone actually have the will to live in 2026? Because it just seems like there is no incentive to continue on and to keep fighting. Like, we can work our asses off and we still can't afford rent. We can't even afford our car note at this point. I just don't understand, like, why we're putting in all this effort when the fruits of our labor are rotten by the time we go to harvest them. It's like we're doing all of this for absolutely nothing. There is no harvest. We are not reaping what we sow. We are just in the field like donkeys, hacking the ground that's completely dry, that will yield absolutely nothing. It's like the fields that were once abundant for our ancestors are now absolutely empty, and we're expected to till and manage the same fields that cannot sustain life anymore, metaphorically, obviously. I'm just wondering if there's actually anyone out there that has the will to live these days, because it literally seems like there is no incentive to continue on this existence. What do you guys think? Okay, people. Why am I so broke? Why am I struggling so much to live in a fucking country that's supposed to be the wealthiest country in the world, but I cannot even pay the light bill? Like, something isn't, like, going right here. Like, what has happened to America? I mean,
you know, now that it's reaching middle America, now they beginning to really see. Now they beginning to see. But look, our people have been enduring this. We've been enduring this. Let me see what's going on in the chat. We just got an influx of people rolling in late. What's going on with y'all? Yo, let me see. Somebody said, oh, that's a mural. She says, for years, my mother never put on pants because church taught her that the Bible says women don't wear pants. The church, the religion stuff is just fake. The Bible says a woman shouldn't wear what pertaineth to a man and vice versa. That's why they got women pants, you know? Now, of course, you know, a woman don't want to be in there like some type of stumbling block with some damn see-through tights at church. You know what I'm saying? You know, within reason. However, you know, these people be running away with it. Like, that's why we don't really get caught up in religious stuff like that. But yeah, let's get the likes up on the video. Let's get the likes up, y'all.
honestly, like, we are not. My hair looks fucking terrible. Look at this shit. Oh God, it's so fried. I need to cut that. Anyway, who cares about my hair? It really doesn't matter. Like, what has happened to our country? We are not the best country in the world anymore. Like, we are, like, struggling. Like, people are working, like, 3 and 4 jobs to make ends meet. Like, it's scary. We're supposed to be, like, the best, the most, the wealthiest, all this shit. And how is that possible? Maybe the 1% are the wealthiest, but, like, how is it possible that we are still the best country in the world when no one has health care, no one can afford groceries, and people are working like 3 jobs and have a side hustle? Like, what the fuck? What the fuck? I'm tired of it.
You know, something is deeply broken in America. Can you feel it? You work harder, earn more, and somehow you're still falling behind. Rent is up, gas is up, groceries are up. Hope, well, that feels like it's going down. For decades, the people in power, the politicians, corporations, financial elite, they're playing the game with us, but they write the rules. That's how they always win. Jobs got shipped overseas. Debt became normal. Owning a home, raising a family, retiring with dignity, what used to be expected is now out of reach for many. And it's not just about money. It's about a system that feels like it's been tilted so far that the average person can't stand up straight anymore. At 71, I've seen a different America. A time when hard work actually meant something. When the American dream wasn't perfect, but it was possible. Now younger generations are asking, what's the point? And that question should shake all of us.
I want to read a scripture here, just so we clear with this. Wisdom of Solomon 6:5 says, "For a sharp judgment shall be to them that be in high places." I want to let it be known that leadership, the elite, are not exempt from judgment. The world that they've created, they're not exempt from the judgment. They're going to fall. James Oliver, thank you for the support, says, appreciate you. Remember, we don't fight over toilet paper this time. Yeah, I guess you mean because there's some, that's what happens when everything gets shut down. Everybody fighting over toilet paper.
Y'all, we are so fucked. Like, so fucking fucked. Everything is going to hell. I said this before, but I'm gonna say it again. Everything is going to hell. We're getting scammed. Whether it's these bills going up and up, scam. Insurance is a fucking scam. These restaurants are price gouging us out of food, so we ain't gonna be able to buy food no more. We're gonna have to depend on food pantries. Yeah, and income to debt, the income to debt ratio is doing nothing right now.
All right, with all that being said, right? With all of that being said, I want to leave y'all with this, right? Just so I'm clear, right? And the message is concise. Right now, in America, we watching wars break out. Pestilence is starting to show up. Systems are expanding, such as the ICE surveillance system. And the Bible already told us all of this will happen. It said nation will rise against nation, that the earth will be in distress with perplexity. And that's exactly what people are feeling right now. Everything seems to be connected. And a lot of us can sense what's happening. And that means you're a step ahead of the game if you are paying attention. So look, count it all joy that you got the eyes to see and the ears to hear. Of course, brothers and sisters, as news continues to drop that I deem relevant and it's time, I'm gonna definitely share these things with y'all to keep us on point. Today we had to come through and actually clear up some things that wasn't true, and then add some balance to what's really happening. So if you're new to the platform, welcome. I will be dropping more material real soon. If you don't have the post notification bell on, make sure it's on. Also support me via Cashapp, NubreedGlobalTruth.com, as well, Nubreed Global Truth, as well as my website, NubreedGlobalTruth.com. And also feel free to support at HebrewCare.com. One love to everybody. Listen, y'all, it's always an honor and a blessing building with y'all. Pretty soon, I'm going to be, not even too soon, but in the next couple months or so, few months or so, I'm going to release an album on my other channel. Nubreed Universal ENT is my music entertainment channel. We got 18,000 subs over there. We got songs over there that got hundreds and thousands of views. A lot of people coming over here didn't know that I was a musician as well. So yeah, I do my thing, and I'm getting back to my my skill, my trade as a musician. So, but one love to y'all, man. Stay blessed out there. I will talk to y'all real soon. Till next time, peace.